What's happening, booth junkies? Mike Delgadio here, back with another video. Today we're going to talk about creating your very first voiceover setup. And what I would, now using my experience and having done this a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different times, what I would consider a really good first time setup. If you really want to be serious about voiceover, but you're just getting started, you don't have a huge budget, but you want to have something that will grow with you, I'm going to show you what I think would make a great first setup. So we'll just go through and we're actually going to put it together right here. The first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a microphone stand. This is one that I bought off Amazon. It's made by Onstage, and I think it was like $25, maybe. It's perfect for what you're going to need. I think it might have come with a boom arm in the beginning, boom arm that comes out like this. I don't remember, but it was very inexpensive. I think it was about $25. Nice thing about this, it folds up so you can stash it in a closet. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and as you can see, it's very lightweight. The next thing that you're going to need is, of course, the microphone. And I would always recommend going with an XLR microphone if at all possible. I'm going to show you the microphone that I would think would make a really ideal beginner's setup. And actually, it could be your forever mic. If you can be willing to part with about $350 for a microphone, I think this would make a great forever mic. But either way, at this price point, it's very affordable. The one that I recommend for a lot of people is the CAD E100S. And one of the reasons I like this microphone is it's very affordable, built in the United States, sounds great, gets great reviews, and I think I got mine on Massdrop. And I think it was about $350, if I recall correctly. I even keep the tags on it. I love this microphone. I've got 3 of them. I've got 2 original CAD E100s, and I've got this E100S. I love this microphone. One of the reasons I love this microphone, especially for someone starting out and who doesn't have a booth, is its pattern. This one is a super cardioid patterned microphone, which means that its area of sensitivity is very narrow in the front, so it's much less sensitive to the sides and to the rear. So if you've got sources of noise around you, this is going to be a little bit more forgiving in this pattern by being a super cardioid pattern microphone. There are also hypercardioids. I've never used one. I don't have a lot of experience with hypercardioids. And as you know, in my regular booth, I also use a shotgun, which is a very, very narrow, almost like a beam of sensitivity. But if you're looking for a beginner's mic, your first mic, the CAD E100 definitely deserves some attention. But it's going to be pricey. If you can't afford this, it's no worries. There are good large diaphragm condensers that are a lot less expensive than this. But this really could be your forever microphone. So let's just mount this onto our microphone stand. So this will be the first part of our vocal setup. And we'll get it up to about mouth height. And I usually like to angle the mic a little bit so any plosives bounce off the mic a little bit. And so we will have that in place. The next thing that you'll need, of course, is a pop filter. Anytime you have a large diaphragm condenser mic, you're going to need to have a pop filter, something to manage the plosives that come off your mouth. This one, again, off Amazon, is the Nady MPF6. Very inexpensive. I think it was maybe $10 on Amazon. Perfect for what you need, especially if you're just starting out. You just need something to help block that air from getting into the microphone. So this one's made of fabric, but it's a great first option. I've used this one. This is pretty much the only pop filter I've used since I've gotten my own booths at home. There are also metal ones but they're a lot more expensive. The metal ones, they do air deflection a little bit differently than the fabric. The fabric is a diffuser, whereas the metal ones, they're angled and they'll deflect the air down, but they can be more expensive. So then we'll just position this pop filter right in front of the microphone. So far, so good. The next thing that, of course, you'll need anytime you have a large diaphragm condenser that's XLR based is you'll need an XLR cable. So we'll connect that to the microphone. Just clicks right into place. And now we're going to get really into the meat of it. And this is where the recommendations really where I really want to attract your attention to these particular set of recommendations. If you don't have an interface yet, the interface that I would suggest if you're just starting out is a portable recorder. And the reason for that is the portable ones, one, they run on battery. Two, they record to an SD card. Three, there's no moving parts, so they're absolutely silent. Very common scenario with people who are just starting out is they'll have their microphone at their desk next to their computer, and their computer fan essentially just blows noise into their mic the whole time. It ruins their takes, and everybody says, why is it so loud? What do I do? Do I need to do a special microphone to get rid of the noise? You don't. You need to get away from the noise. So something like a Zoom H5 is a great one, and they're very reasonable. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that I've recorded television commercials on this device. So this will work all the way up to professional strength, professional grade, but it's very affordable, easy to come by on your own. It's got two XLR mic inputs. On the top, this microphone array, this just pops right off on the H5. So this is really the brains of the device. And a nice thing about this is it runs on AA batteries, so you can just pop some rechargeables in there. And it also has a tripod adapter. So this is really used for a lot of field recording for movies and videos. So you can mount this onto a tripod adapter. And we're going to use this to make it attach to our stand. So let's see how we do that. The next thing you'll need is a C-clamp, and this is a photographer's C-clamp. And this one, I'll link to it, the one I got off Amazon. The reason we want a photographer's C-clamp is because it's got pre-drilled holes to accept the tripod screws, which is a 1/4 inch, 20 thread count nut. So we're just going to take a small screw and attach it to this L bracket. So these L brackets are something that you get at Home Depot for like $2. And that's just going to turn this C-clamp into a mount for our Zoom. So we'll just take the nut and we're going to screw it into one of the tripod mounts. I think under normal circumstances, a photographer would be putting a flash or an additional ball head on one of these so they could turn like a railing into a tripod stand, someplace to mount a flash or a camera. But for us, we're going to use it to mount the Zoom. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver, tighten this nut in place, this bolt in place, sorry, and I'm going to keep it at an angle like that. You'll see why in a second. Now we're going to take another longer bolt, and this one is probably too long, but something a little bit longer, and you're going to put a wing nut on it that is mounted backwards on the bolt. So what we do now is we take the H5 and we line up the hole from the bracket onto the tripod adapter, and we're just going to put that screw in there. You see that? And we'll just screw it in until it's all the way in, whatever size you have. And then the reason we have the wing nut mounted on backwards is we use that to tighten it up. So you don't have to worry about getting the right size or one that's short enough, because a lot of tripod mounts are pretty shallow. So you just use the wing nut to tighten it up, and that makes it easy to get off later. So now we have a mount. Let's see, I probably did that upside down. Let's do it. I think I did that one upside down. I want to have it go this way because I'm lefty. So we'll mount it like that. So now we've got our C-clamp with our Zoom attached to it. And I chose the Zoom because it's the one that I had. It's got the tripod mount. It's got two XLR inputs. It's good for field recording. It gets good battery life, and it can just record to SD. All right, so now we have attached to our pole that C-clamp with the Zoom, and now we'll just take the other half of our XLR cable and we'll plug it into input 1 of the Zoom. And there you have it. Really good beginner setup, totally self-contained. You can carry it around and put it wherever in your house that you need it. The last thing that you'll need is a pair of headphones. And if you're just starting out, whatever headphones you have is going to be fine. If it's iPod earbuds, if it's a pair of over ears, you just want something that doesn't let sound out. So either earbuds, even if you have like skull candies with the little the rubber tips that go right into your ears, those are going to be fine. You're just not going to be able to do like any equalization on it that you can trust. But if you just need to listen back to yourself, you can just use any old earphones. You're going to plug the headphone jack into the headphone out of the Zoom. You can just hang your headphones right on there, and now you've got your complete setup that you can take to whatever part of your house you're going to record in. And I'll show you where that is next. Okay, so here we are. We've moved from the living room into the foyer. So why would we move into the foyer? Well, it's because that's where our first vocal booth is going to be. And this can be any room in your house, so long as it has a closet. A lot of people use a walk-in closet for their vocal booth, and that's a great idea. If you've got a walk-in closet, that's the very first place I would make my vocal booth. I don't have one. This house doesn't have any walk-in closets, but I do have a coat closet. So what I will do is I will take this setup, this portable setup with our Zoom, microphone, pop filter, and all that, and I'm just going to slide it into the closet. And I'm going to get it as far into the closet as I can. And just snuggle it right into the coats. The reason we're using the closet is because it's got great absorptive material in it. All of these coats are going to do a great job of absorbing all of the reflections, all of our voice. And since we've got walls on either side, it's going to keep our voice in the box here, in the booth, and not get out behind us. So once you're here, you grab your headphones, put your headphones on, turn on the Zoom, and there's a knob on there, that's the gain knob. So the gain, you just adjust the gain until you just barely hear the background noise of your room. So if you're very quiet, I'll adjust it until I just barely hear the background, and as I talk, I watch the meter on the Zoom. And as long as it's going up to about -12 on the meter, you're fine. That's perfect. So let's record something and see how this booth sounds.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. He whistled while he worked. This is a great way to put together a vocal booth using nothing more than a coat closet, a mic stand, a microphone, and a portable recorder.
And that actually sounds pretty good, considering we've spent only as much as we needed on a microphone and on the portable recorder. And that's a great way to set up your first booth. Great way to do auditions, great way to do background voiceovers for any videos you might be creating at home. Until you could get a permanent location in your apartment or in your house, using a closet like this and a portable setup is a great way to create a booth. So I hope this helps. Now get in your closet and record something amazing.